Hello, everyone. Welcome to my little live stream today. My goal today is to play with the LLM CLI from Simon Willison. I played with it like 2 years ago, so it's been a while, and there's a lot you can do with it. So I want to play around with it a bunch today. So welcome to the stream. If you've used LLM before, let me know in the chat, and if there's something particular that you want to see, then just post it in the comments. So this is the tool from Simon Willison. I'll share this URL in the YouTube chat. You can see it up there too. And this is it's written in Python. So you can pip install it, but you can also brew install it, UV install it. You can install it all kinds of ways. And then you can use it with lots of different models, right? So, if you're using OpenAI, if you're using Gemini, Anthropic, and then there's plugins too, right? So there's a plugin for llama. There's a plugin for GitHub Models. That's what I was going to try today. And then you can do a chat, or you can, just straight up send it a prompt, right? So Azure is making it really easy to interact with lots of models from the command line. So there, since it's on the command line, we can combine it with other command line tools. We can pipe from one command line tool to the other. So yeah, hello. Thanks for joining, Carlos. All right, so let's just try this out. So we can try it out in different places, but let me start in my terminal. So let's see. Let's just make a little directory just in case I don't need to put anything in here. So we'll do pip. Let's do pip install LLM. Of course, my computer is awesome and is a little messed up. So to use pip, I do python-m pip install LLM. So that is installing, bringing in dependencies. We could check the version. So let's check the version that it installed. LM 0.27.1. Okay. Is that the most recent version? 0.27.1, 2 days ago. Okay, great. Hello. Hey, Robbie. All right. So we've got that installed now. So the next step would be to hook it up to something, right? So, we could do the llama plugin. I guess we should do, the classic OpenAI, right? I should have some OpenAI key I can use. So I'm going to say LM key set OpenAI, and I think it's going to prompt me for a key, or maybe you just paste. Okay, I just paste my key into that. All right. So I'm going to go to openai.com and log into the platform. All right. And then I'm going to, as soon as I need to get the key, I'm going to hide this. Okay. So I'm going to do this over here so you can't see it. So right now what I'm doing is getting a key. All right. So I'm going to make a new key just for LLM. All right. I've got the key and I'm going to paste it. Let's see. It's got a little key thing there. So I think it knows it's a secret key. So I think I can paste it in here without hiding my screen. Yeah, that worked. Okay. So I did just paste the key into there. Oh, and you can't see because I've got my little head in the corner. All right. So we need to move my head somewhere else. Let's see. We'll just do it like this. Okay, great. Okay. All right. So now it should be able to use OpenAI. And says the default model right now is GPT-4o mini. Interesting. I wonder if he's going to change that to GPT-5 mini. And of course, we have Simon Willison loves pelicans because he lives near where there's lots of pelicans. Okay. So it says you tried to access OpenAI. Okay. I wonder if it's using an old version of LLM. Let's see. Can I do like LLM -- version? Is that a thing? 0.12. Yeah, it is using an old version. So that's just because of the way I installed it. So if I did python -m llm - version, this is why you should always do everything within a virtual environment. Then you don't worry about these weird, libraries with different versions. Okay, so let's see if this one's gonna. All right, so there we go. So that's what we want. So I'm just going to use python -m to make sure it's referencing LM from the right location. And I'll just say a fun name for a pet pelican. Yeah, Robbie says to use pip and UV instead of pip. We could do that. We could do the UV tool installed. Okay, so that did work. So let's see if we did UV tool install LM. I wonder how different that would be. Oh, it's so fast. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look how fast that was. Oh, I know. Every time it just blows my mind how fast it is. Okay, so now what if I do a version? Is it going to find the right version? It's still, wherever it's installing it, it's not installing on top of my very old version. Maybe I have to do, what if I did like an uninstall LLM with pip? Well, with my pip. It's so fun. I'm going to remove that, even though, but look at that. It says version LLM 0.27. Maybe, which LLM? Oh, it's getting it from Python 3.11. Okay, why is it getting from Python 3.11? What's my Python version? So why are you getting, all right, so LLM is pointing there. How do I get it not to point there? I don't even remember how to repoint it to the right place. So right now, if I do LLM, it's pointing at a really old version of it. So that's why I'm just going to do python -m LLM. No, I'm not even inside of virtual env. Yeah, so if I did the good thing, right? So where am I right now? So let me go into LLM experiments. Okay, so let's do everything proper. We could do, what is it? UVVM? Is that how you do a UVVM? UVVM, run UVN. Okay, let's do UVVM. Let's do the UV way. Okay, great. It's made it in virtual environment. We're going to activate it. Great. And then we're going to do the UV command, UV tool, install LLM. LLM's already installed. Okay, well, what if I type LLM here? What's the version? LLM -- version. I think that this is, let's see what version is going to point at. There we go. Okay, so now inside the virtual environment, LLM is pointing at the most recent version. Okay, great. All right. So now going back to LLM, now that we've gotten past Python packaging environments, so we tried, basic prompt. We can say like, translate hello into 3 languages. And this one is going off to openai.com and, using my OpenAI key. All right, and so that's streamed back. Now it's saying we could pass it an attachment. We could also have we could use it against a file using the cat. So various fun things we can do with it. The next thing I want to do is use the GitHub models, because right now I'm spending money, and ideally I don't have to spend money. Ideally everything is free, right? That's always the dream. So one way of doing that is Ollama, and I do have some Ollama models, so we could also try that. But let's see all the plugins that are available. Okay, installing plugins, and there's a plugin directory. So this is a plugin directory for local models. So Llama, MLX, that would be a good one for Mac actually. And then remote APIs, right? So looking under here, there is, let me see, where is GitHub models? GitHub. Oh, it looks like it's not listed here. All right, so we need to add it here. But my colleague Anthony did a plugin LLM GitHub Models. So pip install LLM GitHub Models. Let me get the link for that, LLM GitHub Models. So what we need to do is definitely add it to the plugin directory. Oh, I see we've also had a vote for Ollama. All right, we'll do both. We can do both. They're both free. That's our goal, is to start free when we're just having fun with things. Okay, so we're gonna do, oh, you can do LLM install GitHub Models. That's fun. Okay, let's do LLM install GitHub Models and see how that works. We do LLM installed, and then we're gonna set a key for that one as well. It looks like that. Okay, so that installed. And then to set the API keys, use LLM keys set GitHub, or use the GitHub Models key environment variable. It'll back up, it'll, as a default, use GitHub token, which is set in GitHub Actions and the GitHub CLI and GitHub code spaces. So it's a nice default. All right, so then I'm going to say set GitHub. And then to make the key, I will go to my GitHub settings and generate a new token. Oh yeah, of course. Let me do fine grained token to show that. And I got to do my two-factor. Let me find my device. Got to do it proper. Don't want anyone to get access to my GitHub account. Token name, LLM GitHub Models. And then what I need to do is give it permissions to, oh, they just changed this. Okay, before it was like a really long list. So what you do is you add permissions models. That's the only permission it needs. It shouldn't need any other permissions. So let's say generate token. Generate token. I'm going to move this over. Okay. Yeah. Move that over pretty quick so you couldn't see the whole thing. All right. So now I'm going to paste it in. And I'm going to close that page that has the key. All right. So now I've set my GitHub model key. Hopefully that is going to work. So let's try this. So now I should be able to use any of the freely available GitHub models. So if you go here, we can see view all models. And you can see a bunch. There's some like featured ones, but there's, you know, a large number. There's from, you know, OpenAI, obviously, but there's also ones from, you know, DeepSeek, Cohere, Microsoft is the Phi models. So lots of models we can play with there. All right, but the important thing, does it work? Does it work? Now, when I'm testing, I like to try and get really short responses. So I always ask for a haiku because haikus are always very short. So there we go. Golden wheels of taste, aged whispers on the tongue's edge, creamy dreams unfold. Yeah, probably better than I could do. Now let's try that with GPT-5, GPT-5 Mini. That's one of the new GPT-5 models that came out, and it is available on GitHub Models. Now, I don't know if it's as good as creative stuff. Okay, moonlit wedge of brie, melts, perfuming quiet rooms, wine waits, patient grin. I don't know if that was as good. Let's try full GPT-5. And the full GPT-5, like generally with the full models, you don't want to use them as much because they're more expensive. Even with GitHub models, it's not that it's more expensive because it's free, but there's the rate limits are you know, the rate limits are more restrictive, so you can't use it as much. Moon of milk asleep, melts slow on warm toasted bread, caves hum in rhymed hush. I don't know which one's your favorite. Let me show the GitHub models rate limits. Here we go. So there's different, there's different rate limits. So like GPT-5 is in a special category with 01 and 03. These are all reasoning models, and you can only do 1 request per minute, 8 requests per day. Okay, that's really limited. And then 4,000 tokens in, 4,000 out, right? So those are very limited. GPT-5 mini, we can use a little bit more, 12 requests per day. That's still pretty low. Hopefully that'll change, after they've been out for a while. Because otherwise the other models, like, you can get like 150 requests per day, right? Like with like GPT 4.0 mini. And you can send in more tokens, you can do more requests per minute. So generally best to use the models that have the most expansive rate limits to let you do as much as possible. Okay, so that's working. So now we can use the GitHub ones. Now, Robbie had a vote for Ollama. I also like Ollama. So let's go ahead and try Ollama. So LLM install LLM Ollama. All right. Let's try this out. This one should not require a key because it is just running locally on the machine. All right, so we've got Ollama. And then I should have some models already, so I'm just going to do Ollama list. So I've got Hermes Granite, that's an embedding model. Okay, so I don't even have that many LLMs. So Llama 3.1 is my favorite of the Ollama LLM so far. Hermes I only was using because it's a neutral model, and I was red teaming it and getting it to say horrible things. So I wanted to find a model that I could show the results of red teaming on. So that's why I have that model. But Llama 3.1 is my favorite. So then we can say LM-M Llama 3.2 latest. Okay, so we didn't have to say Ollama in front of that. All right, let's try that. Oh, I don't have 3.2. I have 3.1. So let's try this. All right. Oh, and you know what I should do at the same time is open another terminal to show you that it is using up my machine. It's be interesting to do this thing at the same time as StreamYard. Let's make sure we have enough power on this machine to do this. Okay. So this is showing the usage on my machine. You can see GPU usage. All right, so it's going back down now. But generally, when I'm using an Ollama model, that GPU usage usually shoots up. We did finally get a response, which, it said Paris, right? I want to show the GPU usage again. Haiku about cheese. All right, and then, so if we watch this, usually I see, there we go, look at that. It shot up all the way to 90%, right? That's because Ollama can take advantage of the Mac GPU. Now the Mac GPU is not an NVIDIA GPU. It's an MPU using the Metal Programming Language, I think it's called. But Ollama still has tricks where they can use the Mac GPU. All right, this was a nice haiku, simple, nothing too fancy. I actually like the Llama models for doing creative stuff. I think they're pretty good. They're also good for accurate stuff too, but not as good as the frontier models. Okay, so now we've got Ollama hooked up, we've got GitHub hooked up. I think there's also, let me check the plugin directory. What about, really, do we not have one for Azure? I thought there was a way to use it with Azure. I did it before. Let's see, LLM Azure CLI. Is that, okay, let's check the issues. Azure. Oh, API type. Okay. And OpenAI. Okay. Scott says, email me and I'll take care of it. Okay. Oh, okay. So it looks like there's a work in progress here. All right. So what we need to do is tackle this. I'll chat with Scott and Simon to see if if I should help out with this. Because it looks like there's a little stuff that needs improving there. So Robbie says, if you use Llama on Mac with AppleSync, make sure to use the MLX optimized model. Okay, is that true? So with a Llama, like so if we go to the Llama catalog and search for like Llama 3.1, it doesn't like specifically say, I don't think it specifically says like has like an MLX optimized version, but as I understood it, Llama just has built-in optimizations, but I don't know if there's ones that are like specifically optimized for there. So maybe figure out what that would mean exactly with Llama. Okay, so we've got it working with that. So now, what else can we do? So this is cool, is that you can use it in GitHub Actions. This is with the GitHub models, it would be free. So Anthony actually wrote a blog post about this yesterday, where he was experimenting with using the llms CLI in GitHub models. That looks pretty fun. But we should try like piping some stuff, right? So he was doing like diffs and then piping to LLM. That's kind of fun. What do we want to pipe? Okay, so we can do like extracting text. All right, let's get some sort of document to extract. Maybe making alt text. Actually, alt text would be a good thing. I'm always writing alt text. So let me move some desktop stream. All right, let's do this here. All right, so LLM dash a streamlitty.ping, and which model do we want to use? So we need a multimodal model because I'm giving it an image. Is this one with an image? That's it. Yeah, that's an image. So let's do the 4.1 mini. That's a multimodal model. And then, so we do dash A, dash M, and then generate alt text for this image. All right, let's see. Great. Yeah, let me actually open the image so you can see what it's describing. So here's the image. This was a screenshot of a tiny Streamlit app that I made yesterday at SF Python, and it made a great alt text for it. Okay, perfect. That's really nice. Okay, so I could use that when I'm, generating blog posts and stuff like that. The other thing would be adding a whole file. All right, so what would be, let me find something fun. Okay, a file. What would be a good file here? I just have, yeah, my desktop is just lots and lots of images. What would be a good file? All right, let's just download a Wikipedia page about Ryan Gosling, carpenter bees. Okay. Ooh, we should be able to do like a curl, right? Like do like a curl command and then pipe it to it. Let's try that. Now I'm not that good at curl, so I'm just going to ask Copilot, generate a curl command to fetch this page so that the body can be piped to another CLI command. Okay. I'll make this bigger. This is with, and here I'm using GPT-5. Probably don't need that fancy, but okay, curl dash after compressed. So fail on HTTP, S silent, L follow redirects, compressed. Okay. All right, example piping. All right, so let's try that. And then we're going to do LLM -m GitHub/GPT 4.1 mini, and then well, I'm just gonna say are carpenter bees native to California? Okay. Oops. All right. Let's see if that'll work. Put a little enter in there. Okay. Oh, request body too large for GPT-4.1 mini model, max size 8,000 tokens. I wonder how many tokens that page was. That's kind of a, oh, it's a really long one because it has every kind. All right, let's find, I think there's a, yeah, there we go. This one is definitely native to California because it's the California carpenter bee. I wonder how many tokens it is. Okay. So this is because we're using the GitHub models that has a much smaller context window, right? If we were using the full one, then, and we could do that actually with OpenAI, right? I could change this to there. Not sure they work with the llama. Oh, okay. So Ravi says the MLX models don't work with it. Optimized models don't work with the llama. Okay, so that's too large for the GPT-4.1 mini model on GitHub. Let's try our local. Let's see. That's gonna be fun to see what it does. So can we do it with our Ollama? Let me open up the metrics to see how it does with that. All right, I just saw GPU 100%. 99. Okay, so you see, this is really pushing it to the max. But hey, you know, I'm glad my GPU is getting some work done for it. All right, there we go. And it says, yes, the California carpenter bee is a species of carpenter bee that's native to California. And yeah, which that was kind of an easy question for that one. But that was cool. So that was actually fair, like relatively fast, given that this was like running on my machine and going to a small model. And so those small models with a llama, they can take you know, a good size context window. Okay, so that's fun. So we can do curl. Let's see what else. You can also do, you can do tools, functions. Let's see, I think that was in Anthony's blog post. Okay, so we can even do a function, right? So function calling. So there you specify -- functions and you give in, looks like an actual Python function. Okay. Wow. All right. And so I guess that's just gonna, okay. All right, let's try this out. Now, I think that looks a little awkward to that. Oh, that works. Okay, so maybe what we would do is write those functions in a file, and so that we're not having to write functions in line like that. Let's see. Does he talk about it? Functions. Okay, tool functions, other functions. Okay, I want the -- functions. Oh, and so LLM is also available as, you know, a Python package. So you can, if you want, you can use it as a Python package. When I'm in Python, I'm usually using like OpenAI SDK, but you know, if you want to use it as a Python package instead, you can. So it says -- okay, here we go. CLI reference. -- functions, Python callback or file path defining functions to registers as tools. Okay, so then let's go and grab some functions. I have functions in other repos that I can use. Multiple. Oh, but these ones are defined using the function schema. All right, so we're just going to do it functions.py. And we're just going to do it using, you know, using good old Python functions, right? So we'll say A is an int, B is an int, and it returns a int. And we're going to give it a little doc string, multiplies two numbers and returns result. And then return A times B. Now, of course, our favorite function is for counting things that R's in strawberry, right? So I have that. Where is it? Python, my MCP Python demo. Let me grab the functions from here. To count letter and text. Okay, this is the one I want. Okay, so we have count letter and text. And that should mean that it can count the number of R's in strawberry. All right, so now we've got two functions. So this time we're going to say llm-m GitHub GPT-4o -- functions. We'll give it functions.py. I don't know if I need to put that in quotes or not. And then say how many R's are in strawberry. Oops. I should spell strawberry right if I'm going to ask about it. And then what is --td? What is --td? T -td tools debug. Oh, okay. All right, that's fun. Okay, TD tools debug. Let's see. Peter had a question. Are the tokens cheaper via the CLI? Tokens are the tokens. As far as I know, the tokens will always be the same amount, right? The reason that what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to use all the freely available models first, right? Because I'm just playing around, and when I'm playing around, I don't really want to spend a lot of money. So I'm using GitHub Models and using as much of the free tier of that I can, before I get limited. And with GitHub Models, like if you do go beyond it, you can pay for more, but I haven't set up any budget for that. So I'm just trying to use just the free tier there. And then with Ollama, the one we did the Ollama here, that one's free because it's just running on my machine, right? So no, I mean, the tokens, if you're using OpenAI or Azure OpenAI, the tokens are going to cost the same, or whether you're using it from a CLI or from a package. The advantage of the CLI is that, sometimes it's just easier to use a CLI, right? Like if you're integrating in GitHub Actions, you don't want to have to write a whole Python script. You just run a little CLI command and you can just do it with the CLI. All right. Oh, look at this. What? Oh, it's so funny. Look at the answer here. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's correct. I said how many R's and I uppercase the R. And so it said 0 times. I mean, that's correct. Though maybe it could have said well, maybe you meant, all right, what if I say R's like that? How many R's? Okay, there we go. So letter R. So this is we have the tool called debugging on. So it says oh, okay, look for the letter R, got the count, the text length, blah, 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 right? The letter R appears 3 times. Is that correct? 1, 2, 3, yes. So there we go. So that's a tool call. Let's find a more interesting. Oh, I could try this one. Run Azure CLI command. Little scary, but might work. Let's see. Let me grab it all. Oh, but that's an async one. Is it gonna work? It might work. We'll try it. All right, functions.py. Okay, so this is doing trying to do AZ CLI. So async. What part of this is async? It must be the sub process test run. I actually don't even see what's async about this. Is there an await somewhere? No. All right, I'm going to try removing the async. And there we go. So def run Azure CLI command returns back a dict. Okay. All right. Now let's try with GPT-4o functions.py and say what resource groups do I have? Mm-hmm. Okay, and it says, okay, oh, wait, we didn't do the --td. Let's do the --td to get more so that we can see the arguments and see. Oh, it just says subprocess is not defined. All right, we can fix that. Import subprocess. Let's see, what other imports am I missing? No, that should be it. Okay. All right, let's try that. All right. Well, it's being slow, and sometimes when something's being slow, so that's usually good. So you can see, oh my gosh, there we go. It worked. It seemed like it had to do like an iteration there, but yeah, it got back a bunch of resource groups. All right. So what was the issue here? So it said the Azure CLI command executes successfully, but it seemed there was an issue in parsing the resource. Let me fix that for you. Oh, and so it changed it from being, so it added -o JSON to its thing. So interesting. So that means that the LLM tool is doing iteration. It's doing iterative tool calls. Okay, and it says, oh, it's still incorrect. And so then it did just output JSON there. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. So it's not just doing a single function call, it's actually trying to do multiple. So that means we could actually like, we could chain some stuff together. So if we had like, let's see, functions, py, okay. I'll do another, yesterday I was doing a different MCP, this one. All right, let me grab the functions from here and bring them in and just make them not be MCP anymore. Okay, so these ones are the usual weather, very popular things of weather. Okay, and these ones are async, and these ones are actually async. They use a wait. So we'll see if this works with async functions. Okay. Format alert. All right. So interesting, when we're using LLM, there's no decorator to say which of them are the tools. So it's going to actually potentially be able to call any of these tools, even though these ones would ideally be internal and not exposed. But I don't know how, maybe I'll just add to the doc string, like, do not call this directly. It will be called by other functions, right? Okay, and let me add that to here too. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see if that works. So we're going to say, give me weather and alerts for Berkeley, California. Let's try that out. Oh, and let's see. Didn't like my quote. Give me weather and alerts for Berkeley, California. Oh, I just need to use the right quote here. Here we go. Okay. Oh, no module named MCP. That's these imports are all getting rid of all this MCP stuff. We're not doing MCP. And move these to the top. Oh, it's actually been a long time. I'm in VI right now, and it's actually been quite a long time since I've used VI. I've almost forgotten the VI shortcuts. almost. Okay, let's try that. Okay, it's slow. That's good. Great. So if we ideally we're going to see both, weather forecast and alerts. That means it did call multiple tools. I wonder if it did it in parallel or sequentially. So let's do the --td to get that tool debug. Okay, so this is like the we can see tool call figured out the latitude longitude just because the LLM, it's crazy. LLMs know the latitude longitude of popular cities. Now, I keep telling people like you should not be using an LLM for geocoding. You should actually use a geocoding service because this is only going to work with, you know, well-known cities. If we put in an exact address, like it's not going to actually be able to geocode that. But you know, for Berkeley, it does know the latitude longitude of Berkeley, which is it's crazy to me that it does, but it does. Even actually, I live in an even smaller town than this, and it did actually know it. But still, we shouldn't use LLMs for geocoding. We should use a geocoding API, but there's no freely available geocoding API as far as I know. So, you know, that's why people often don't have that in their demos. So yeah, it did 2 tool calls. So we did the get weather for the latitude longitude, and then just get alerts for the state of California. And then it summarized that. Cool. So that's really nice that it works. So now what I want to try to do is do a GitHub action. Let me do it. Let me do it maybe on this one. I'm in Maine. Okay. So let's see, like add a GitHub action that is triggered whenever there is a new pull request and can read the body of the pull request. Because what I want is I want that when somebody sends a pull request, I want it to look at the pull request and see if it was a good pull request and then reply and say like, oh, you know, you didn't fill out your pull request properly, right? So let's see what that will look like. And then we should be able to use LLM from the action. So let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to look at how Anthony did it with LLM. Okay, so PR body reader, pull request types opened. I wonder if that's also going to get triggered if they, I want edited too. Opened, edited. Because if they edit the pull request, we should look at it as well. Ready for view. Demilestoned. That's quite a word. Okay. Pull request read. It needs another, because if we're going to use models, we have to add models read as well. I don't know what contents is. I think that's for the contents of the repo. So read. Okay. So it's going to read the title, number, blah. Okay. All right. So that looks reasonable. And then I'm going to steal all this stuff here from Anthony. Okay. So it's going to set up Python and then install LLM, install GitHub Models. Let's see, runs on Ubuntu latest. That looks good. And then, okay, review, PR for good practices. Okay. So that's the name. And then we're going to run and add my review logic here. Okay. So what we need to do is pass it to LLM. So LLM prompt -m GitHub. He's doing GPT-5 mini. We can even just do 4.0 mini just so we have more more token limits, and then say make sure the PR is fully filled out with description and test plan. All right. And then, okay. All right. Now that's doing the triple arrow thing, which I think is going to add that to the end. Let me see. All right. So we get the prompt. And then is it going to add a comment? What is it going to do? Like, where do we... Okay, we're going to do m GitHub token. So that'll bring in the GitHub token. All right. So how did you get it to like add a comment though? Oh, use the formatting for GitHub Actions. Oh, okay. All right. But I wanted to add a comment. How could I add a comment? Pipe the result of LLM prompt into a new comment on the PR. Now, the tricky thing with GitHub Actions is testing them out, because when I make a PR for this PR, I don't know if it's going to run its own action on itself. That's what I always find tricky about testing out GitHub Actions is it can be hard to actually test them out because there's like all these variables that decide when they're going to actually run. So sometimes it's easier to like check it in and then see how it works. But that's a pretty horrible workflow. I think there's a tool you can use that actually kind of will like run PR GitHub Actions locally, but I don't know if it would work for something like this where I really want to see how it runs on the PR. Okay, it added. Okay, so it's working on it. I think I'm using the GPT-5 model. Seems like it's being a little slow today. All right, I'm gonna make the PR for this PR reader and just see if it's gonna run this PR. Okay, so it's made a few changes. So it says pull request right. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Issues right. I don't know why it would. Oh, I guess because a pull request is technically an issue. So that's a weird thing about GitHub. A pull request is an issue. But okay, so it did. And you're a helpful reviewer. LM prompt. Okay. I don't know if it made that up. -- system. Is that in the CLI? -- system. Yeah, it is actually. Okay, it did know that. So -m -- system prompt PR body. Okay, well that actually looks correct. And that saves to GitHub output. And then it says it's going to use this is like a JavaScript. It's going to use JavaScript in order to add the comment. Okay. I always find it funny that we just embed JavaScript in our PRs, but I have done this on other actions. So this might be correct. So let's see, add PR reviewer flow. And let's push, wait, am I in a branch? Yes. Okay. Push that. And what? Wait, why are there 0 change files? Oh, maybe I didn't manage to do the commit. Okay. Git add, git commit, git push. Okay. And then here. There we go. Okay. All right. So this adds the flow. And I'm going to create a pull request. I'm going to make a shitty pull request that has no description. And let's see. Oh, look, it's running. Okay. That'd be really good if it actually runs. Then, all right, we can watch this. Great. We can watch this. It's slow because we use pip to install it. We should really change that to use UV because that'll be faster. Great way to speed up your GitHub Actions is to change all the pip install to UV pip install. All right, generate LLM and run a comment. Okay, okay. Did it work? I don't see. Oh, okay. It says to evaluate the PR description, please provide the text of the PR description. I mean, maybe he's confused because I literally had nothing in the description. Okay, let's try it. If I edit this, like, this is a crappy PR description. Is it going to rerun? I don't know if it's going to rerun it. So is it on opened, edited? Yeah, I don't know if edited includes source GitHub workflow. Oh, good. It's starting again. Okay. All right. So I think that edited does trigger it. Let's see if edited is in here. Edited. Okay. Well, I think that worked. So this time, hopefully it doesn't get confused by really empty. Like, what? So if it's completely empty PR, then we don't need to send it to an LLM. We can say like, oh, we can just immediately respond and say like, hey, like you need some sort of description, right? All right. Let's reload this. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Okay. It lacks clarity and detail. Yeah, concrete improvements. Great. And an example. Okay, that's great. This works. I'm excited that this actually works. So no, if I was going to use this in an actual repo, I would be more specific about what I'm looking for. Like, for example, on the Azure Search OpenAI demo repo, that's where we get more PRs. And we had to have a pull request template there. So I would ideally actually have it, reference that template and be like, okay, like, does it have everything checked out in the template? And, is it, did they fill out each section, right? And make sure that they follow the template, at all. Because here it's just doing its like, best effort of what it thinks should be in it, which is pretty good. Like this is still, a good one, just to have on anywhere. So yeah, that's really cool that it works. I'm excited about that. So I'll go ahead and merge it because it basically is working, except for if you have complete empty PR. We can say like, okay, it works, but when a PR is completely empty, it gets confused. In that case, PR body, in that case, we shouldn't even send to the LM. We should just immediately comment that the PR needs work. Now, interesting thing here is I just realized I'm not having the action turn red or green based off whether it failed, because we could fail the CR, like we could the CI if it doesn't pass muster, if it's not a good PR description. That we have to be way more confident about the the review being a good review, because you do not want to have like a flaky CI, right? Like when you're doing this continuous AI, like you want things to be reliable. You want for green to be green and red to be red. So if we're nervous about that, we can just start with it just adding a comment and not doing pass or fail. PR needs a description. All right, let's just add that for now. But I do think you could get to the point with this one where you could have it be, red or green. I think we would just want to tend toward marking it green, because a human can always go in and say like, oh, hey, like, yeah, I know it passed this, but you still need to, do this and this in the PR. So I would tend toward, having it be more likely to say that the CI passes. just so you don't have the situation where people are like merging PRs that have a red CI check, a failed CI check, because it's gotten like too picky, right? All right, so it is doing some processing, check for empty PR, and if it needs a description, it's going to just comment, please add a description. Okay, great. Otherwise, it's going to use the LM. Okay, good. So we're not wasting our time on LM if it's just completely empty. All right, let's see. Handle empty PR bodies. Okay. So now it is it going to rerun? So it's not rerunning because I didn't edit the PRs. That's good. That's good. I'm loving this. All right. Now I'm going to edit the PR. I'm going to make it empty. There we go. Yeah, now it's empty. And now it's running again. Thanks for the PR. Please add a description with context and a brief test plan. Okay, great. So now what I'm going to do, oh, this is so fun. I think so fun. All right, so I'm going to add in the PR template from the other repo, but I'm not going to actually fill it in. I'm going to see if it catches that, right? Because this is what a lot of people do is they see the template, but then they don't actually like fill it in, or like maybe they only do the top part or something like that. So now it should be reading the PR again, and hopefully it's going to notice that I cheated and didn't fill out that whole description properly. Let's see. We'll watch to make sure. Okay. Now it's adding the comment. All right, so now we should be able to see it. Okay. Reload. It's partially complete, lacks clarity and detail. Currently, this section is empty. Yeah. Oh, this one, that's interesting. It's some examples of what constituted a break chain. All right. So now it's kind of criticizing my template. But let's see what happens if I actually filled it out. So let me take an example of me having filled it out for something, right? So let's look at one that's like properly filled out. Okay, so like the this one, and see how critical it would be on it. I tend to think I have pretty good PR descriptions. But who knows? All right, update comment. Okay, so now it's rerunning. And there we go. And yeah, and it did in the revise PR description. It did actually check the boxes. So I think it does understand that the boxes should be checked. I didn't attempt to check the boxes in the bottom section. All right, let's see what it thinks about this one. And then if it's good, then I'll merge this. So let me put this link in the chat and also show it on the stage so that you want to see it, you can. All right, so that one, try it. Okay. All right. So it actually gave a lot of feedback. Okay, so that's good to know. So it's quite nitpicky, which maybe is good. Add a section about future work. Oh, because it's in it. I mean, the very some of this feedback's quite good. But I think what I have to do for for that repo is to actually give it an idea of what's good enough, right? Because this thing could give me lots and lots of feedback, right? It could maybe just keep giving me feedback forever. It did luckily revise it and say so yeah, so I think I'd have to give it some feedback about what makes a really good PR. But yeah, I think that's actually really promising. I think we can make that work. So in this case, I'm just going to generate, use Copilot to generate the summary of this actual PR and see what kind of feedback it will give on the Copilot generated summary. Because sometimes LLMs like their own thing, Okay, so key additions. Here we go. Update comment. All right, and I'm sure it's going to come up with some feedback about it. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. And I do need to go now and in this stream. But this has been super fun. Thank you everyone for joining and giving ideas about how to use LLM. So as you saw, we can use LLM with lots of different providers, especially with free models like GitHub Models and Ollama. And we can use it from the command line. We can use it with attachments. So we can use it with tool calling. And we can use it in GitHub Actions. So very exciting. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.